All right. Jason Fulkerson, did I say that properly?
Yes.
Is on the line with me, and we've decided to do something unique and cool. I reached out and was looking for someone looking to make a change in their life. And you fit that category, correct, Jason?
Yes.
And I said we were going to talk on Friday, but then I decided let's try to put this out there so everyone can see Jason's journey. So, for a few reasons. One, I'm confident in my ability to help you, and I felt like it's kind of like the thing where if you tell someone your goal, you're more likely to do it, and now you're telling hundreds, if not thousands, of people your goal. So you have a community of support behind you.
Awesome.
So, with that being said, well, first of all, where do you live?
Currently, I live in Niskayuna, New York, which is kind of a suburb of Albany, New York.
Oh, I didn't even, that's right, because you know Abby.
Yes.
How do you know Abby?
We are colleagues. We're both ministers.
Very cool. Very cool. I always joked with Abby that if I ever got married, I want her to be the one to do it. I'm actually finally getting married, so now I just have to talk to her about it. So that's really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, I've known Abby for probably almost 10 years. That's pretty crazy.
Awesome.
And she reached out because she recently had a baby,
Hmm.
and now I think she wants to make a change. So must be nice and warm in Niskayuna at 8 a.m. in the winter.
It's not.
No.
The sun is out, so that's not too bad.
So, you know, Abby put us in touch, but tell everyone what your goal is. And be as open as you're willing to be. Where you're at, what your goal is, what you've done in the past, and
Hmm.
successes, and some failures you've had.
Yeah. So I think I've kind of struggled with my weight, being overweight for probably since I was in my early teenage years. Um, and and looking back, I realized that some of that was a lot of eating to find comfort. Um, and so that continued on through teenage years in my 20s, and I'm 36 now. And so there's been various times where I've tried to kind of, fight the battle, and I've done different things. Some just kind of being mindful of what I've eaten, not really following a plan. I found some success with Weight Watchers for several months, but then kind of fell off the wagon with that. Um, Lost about 45 pounds while I was on that. And then just a couple years ago, my wife and I decided to change our diets. And I lost probably about 35, 40 pounds just cutting out um, various processed foods and, snack cakes and the fast food and things of that nature. Um, and, uh, and also being more active. But yet again, kind of got out of that habit and have put on the weight again. So I'm looking for a way to have just a healthier life. I'm still young, and I want to do lots of different things with my life, and so I want a healthier view of myself, a healthier view of food, and just to be a healthier person overall.
Very cool. So, what is your current weight? Have you weighed yourself recently?
Yeah, I weighed myself a few days ago, and I was at 377 pounds.
377 a couple days ago. And what would you say your goal weight is?
Um, my goal weight would probably be, I mean, my first target would be to get under that 300. That'd be great. And then from then, probably, um, I would love to get down to 200. That would be great.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Okay. So I think that's a realistic number. And I like, you know, trying to balance this of having you understand what I want you to do and having people understand how we're going to accomplish this. But typically what I would say is give me your true goal weight. And you did, which is 200 pounds. It's nice to know, yes, we need to pass through 300 to get there. But I think a lot of the times people kind of picture that in between weight is because, like you've done other diets that did work for a given amount of time. The problem is when they stop working, you no longer move in the right direction and gain it back. So you've never gotten to that 300 on those diets, correct?
Correct.
So, in your mind, it's like, okay, I'll get to 300 and then see what happens. But I want to teach you how this is a lifestyle and you're going to be able to do this forever. And that's how you're going to get to 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make that, we'll definitely make that first kind of like goal, that 77-pound loss. We can get you under 300. And then not that that's going to be easy, but I think we can get there moderately, quickly. I think once you start eating properly, weight's going to come off. That second 100 pounds, if you will, is going to be, especially towards the end, getting to that 200, we're going to have to talk about probably adding more activity, adjusting what we're going to eat, etc. And, and speaking of that, what's your typical activity look like?
I don't do a lot of activity. But now that the weather's kind of turning, it's definitely walking has helped me in the past. Just walking every day, having that kind of activity. But I'm also very open to figuring out other ways that I can be more active.
All right, well, I'm obviously a big proponent of CrossFit. That's where Abby goes, to Albany CrossFit. I founded that box in 2007. So certainly something we can look into, and I would love to reach out to the owner and see if we can, combine this into something cool together. So, but in the meantime, let's at least get you, moving, walking on a daily basis. It's I know you guys got hit pretty badly last week with some snow, right?
Yeah, it's clearing out because it's been sunny, above freezing, so some of the snow has been melting.
Cool. Well, that's a good start. So, what do you know about flexible eating, if you know anything?
I think I stumbled onto it because Abby liked one of your posts, and I did a little bit of research into it, just knowing that it. I don't remember the 3 categories, but it takes into account 3 categories to figure out what's good to eat or what's the best to eat.
That's a good start. So basically, when you were doing Weight Watchers in the past, you were using a point system, correct?
Yeah.
So that point system, it's very similar, except you're only taking into account one thing, points. I can eat this because it has X amount of points, and if I eat that, I have this many points remaining. It's a budget, basically, of your food on a daily basis, correct?
Correct.
So how many points were you getting on Weight Watchers?
I can't remember. I think it was in the 30s.
I think that's probably about right, which is probably a decent amount of food.
Yeah.
Now, with flexible eating, it's similar, except like you said, there's 3 categories. So there's protein, there's carbohydrates, and there's fat. Those are macronutrients. This isn't something that I woke up one day and created. This is just science, right? There's protein, carbs, and fat. And similar to your points in Weight Watchers, you're going to balance those. You're going to eat those amount of points, but you have to eat all 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more challenging in the sense that you're balancing 3 different sets of numbers, but it's also a little more accurate because you're keeping in account all 3 macronutrients for Weight Watchers, which is great, but it just focuses primarily on, calories in the meal, which is how they're getting their points.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, when you do Weight Watchers, you can have your 33 points, for example, primarily from carbohydrates, so long as you're under your points. Where we're going to make sure you're getting all 3. And just to give you a better idea, protein is typically like your meat products. So, anything that's coming from an animal source is probably protein, including eggs and cheese and dairy. Carbohydrates are fruits and vegetables, also starchier type foods like breads, potatoes, pasta, and then any other food you love is probably a carbohydrate. That's just
Mhm.
how, chips, cereals, cookies, mostly carbohydrates. And then fat is butters, oils, avocado, nuts, things like that. But keeping in mind, many foods have all three. So if you had eggs and bacon for breakfast, while it's a lot of protein, there's also fat involved in it.
Mhm.
And it's probably a lot of information to throw at you, but we're going to use an app called MyFitnessPal. Have you used it before?
Yes, I have it.
Did you have it already, or did you get it?
I have it on my phone already.
And have you
I've
used
used it in the
it?
past. Yeah.
Cool. So, and I don't wanted to take this super, slowly. My mindset with anybody I work with, but especially someone with goals as ambitious as yours, is we need to do this forever. The
Mhm.
only way to get to 200 pounds, which is basically half of your body weight, and I've seen other people come down from even higher to 200 pounds, 400 plus pounds. We have someone named John who's almost at 300 pounds from over 500, is to make it a lifestyle. So, a couple of things that are going to happen. When we're done with this call, you and I have been texting, but I'm going to text you numbers that I would like for you to try to hit within MyFitnessPal, meaning those macronutrients.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you and I will communicate regularly about those. But to get you started, all I want you to do, so we're going to break that 3 down into an easier chunk and say, I just want you to worry about one of those, and that's going to be your protein.
Okay.
Because here's what I've learned. This is, if anyone is watching this, and maybe for you, Jason, it'll be a little shocking, but I have learned most people, even those that want to lose a substantial amount of weight, are making one of these common mistakes, actually not eating enough. So if you think
Mhm.
any of these ring true for you, let me know. Do you think that's potential for you?
That I'm not eating enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not eating enough, and probably not eating enough of the things I need to eat.
Right. So number two is typically, okay, Jason eats enough total calorically, but
Mhm.
where he's getting those calories from, similar to those points, are not coming from the way I would break up his macronutrients. So, so if I haven't made this clear, understand your protein, carbs, and fats all equal your calories. So that's how you're getting your calories. You very well may be eating enough calories, but you can be eating most of those calories from carbs and fat, where we need to
Mhm.
make sure you're also getting protein there. Does that make sense? So what I have found is most people don't eat anywhere near enough protein, especially when they're getting started. So we're gonna start with that. I'm gonna send you numbers. We're gonna plug it into MyFitnessPal, and then we're gonna start to track your food. Have you ever done that? Have you ever tracked your food?
Yes.
All right. So well? That's similar to what you did with Weight Watchers, correct?
Yeah, and I did that when I mentioned a couple years ago. My wife and I changed our diets. Um, I was using the Fitness Pal app to track what I was eating.
Okay, so you're somewhat accustomed to it.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna track, and we'll start today. Have you ate already today?
No.
Perfect. So we'll start with tracking today. I'll send you those numbers quickly, and I want you to just try to hit the correct amount of protein, and we'll stay for the next 3 days. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then we'll touch base again on Thursday.
Okay.
And ideally, you'll start to see, okay, you'll start to learn what foods you need to eat to get that protein. And because I'm going to give you all three numbers, you might make some other choices along the way to help keep your carbs and fat in check as well.
Mhm.
So we'll start with that. In addition to that, I would love for you to walk for just 20 minutes for the next 3 days. Throw that hood on and Careful of the black ice, but you can walk for just 20 minutes every day. All of this sound reasonable?
Yeah, it sounds doable.
And that's all I want. Understand this isn't going to be a quick fix. There are faster ways for you to lose weight. We can starve yourself. We can, go on these drastic juice diets, all of these other things, but we want to do something that will last forever.
Yeah.
So the last question I want to ask you is just, if you had to tell me, what you think is causing you to not lose weight, what's the biggest issue you face, whether, either you're doing it or just when it comes to life, like what's something that's holding you back from losing weight?
I think it's the commitment to making that lifestyle change. Like I can do things for, a short period of time. But ultimately, it's always easier to just eat whatever I want based on how I feel. And so I think that's really the biggest obstacle for me, is making that full-on commitment to make a lifestyle change.
Awesome. Well, and that's really a big reason I want to start slowly, because we could have gotten on this call and I could have given you way more information and said you need to start today. And from the sounds of it, you probably could have done it, but it's a matter of how long it would have lasted versus slow and steady. And by the time I'll basically have tricked you into making a lifestyle change. That's my goal. By the time you're full in, you don't even realize it. It's part of your life, and it's just moving you forward. Do you have a bathroom scale that you use?
Yes.
So here's what I would like to do also, especially to help motivate you and to show the people that'll be following your progress. Let's do a daily weigh-in in the morning.
Okay.
So daily weigh-in, which would be do it, first thing in the morning, right when you get out of bed, obviously if you need to go to the bathroom, but before you eat, drink anything, ideally undressed. So it's, it's the same thing every day. And then that does a few things for both of us. For one, it gives us just a common language, so you can tell me how the weight's doing, so we can see if it's moving in the right direction. And then for you, it's, in just a great way to set your daily intention for the day with your nutrition. I think I don't want to see that number drop to 370 overnight, but I'd like to see it move down a pound, 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds a week. The slower we lose it, the more likely it is to stay off.
All right.
All right. So I'll send you a text after, and we'll communicate throughout the rest of the day. And then let's try to get on this call again Thursday maybe and talk about the second step.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. Well, enjoy the brisk coolness of Albany. Like I said, try to get that 20-minute walk. I'll send you those numbers right away, and then let's start hitting those numbers in MyFitnessPal, and we'll talk throughout the day.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jason. I look forward. I'm telling you with 100% confidence, we can get under 300 pounds, and we can make our way towards 200. Where the scale winds up stopping towards the end, I don't know. It could be 190, it could be 220, but I'm 100% confident we can move there. We can get under 300 pounds.
All right.
Let's do it. Day one in the books. Let's go. All right. You have a good rest of the day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.